What were you doing in Tahrir Square? You were hanging around with guys, and they were, such things. Do you want to destroy the country? You are some losers, and we won't allow you to do so. We have the control now over the country, and we won't allow you to destroy it.
Their testimony suggests dark forces still lurk within the state security apparatus. Back at the headquarters, they're drafting a Facebook page. The High Military Council has announced a new caretaker government, but it's not the government of technocrats these activists demanded. Instead, the Prime Minister, Ahmed Shafiq, stays in place with many former cabinet colleagues. And on the internet, there is yet more proof this fight isn't over. This video shows a provincial security chief addressing his men. He gives a hint of what they're up against. All week, these activists have been getting a lesson in counter-revolution via television images from Libya. Who do they think threatens the Egyptian revolution?
The National Democratic Party and state security. They're trying to distract people, make them think that this is something and divide between the people in the army. They're trying to let them feel that the people are weak and the army is stronger, and trying to overpower them. The army is slow in some things, in some actions, but I think that the army is now. We gave them a bag, a dirty bag, full of corrupted regime for 30 years, and take this and handle it. So it's really logical to give them their time to try to fix what the corrupt regime has done for the past 30 years.
Friday, the 25th of February, a month to the day when the demonstrators first entered Tahrir Square. From early morning, Egyptians make their way to the demonstration, now aware that the revolution has started but is not yet won. Tanks block the traffic, vendors ply their wares. Toppling the dictator is one thing. Erasing a deeply rooted regime of corruption, injustice and thuggery is quite another. The crowd tries to break through the cordon to harangue Prime Minister Shafiq at the parliament buildings, but tanks block their path. There is more talk of counter-revolution, of Mubarak loyalists infiltrating the youth movements.
نفس رجال الاعمال دول بيحاولوا ان هم بيدفعوا فلوس للناس ان هم ينزلوا في الشوارع يقولوا لهم احمد شفيق كويس، احمد شفيق مش عارف ايه. في نفس الوقت البلطجيه ورجال الاعمال بيحاولوا ان هم يبعتوا ناس يسوهم جوه الحركات ووسط المجموعات، بيحاولوا ان هم يفتتوا الحركات دي ويشتتوها عن المسار الحقيقي.
But many protesters commit to staying on the square for the night. At 2 a.m., military police attack again. There are more beatings and arrests. The next day, the army apologizes. Then, on Sunday, 27th of February, a week and a half after it was promised, Ahmed Maher is called to a meeting with the High Military Council. It seems his faith in the army has been rewarded. It has freed 55 prisoners and promises a government of technocrats within days. People power could triumph yet.
That's it for this edition of People in Power. If you'd like to comment on this episode or any other matter, we'd love to hear from you on aljazeera.net/English. Until next time, bye-bye.
Homes have crumbled and many buildings have been left just empty shells.
Tensions are high. Riot police trying to control thousands of Greek protesters on the streets of Athens.
A British court has approved the go-ahead for WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange to be extradited.
The Gaddafi is waging a war against the Libyan people. They are killing civilians mercilessly. They're using ammunition, live ammunition.
history of guerrilla warfare, a place on the global stage. They were an organization created for a stateless population. But before fighting for their land, why did the PLO fight for independence from their Arab neighbors? Chronicling the turbulent story of the struggle for a Palestinian homeland, PLO, History of a Revolution, at this time on Al Jazeera.
Afghanistan is faced with a huge challenge.
Relations have gone really sour between us and our allies.
We have inflicted considerable damage on the enemy.
The people who make international headlines.
Ultimately, the truth will out.
They want to stop this publication of information that embarrasses them.
Make time for Sir David Frost. Frost over the world. At this time on Al Jazeera.
For the people here, this has started to become normal. It's flooded every single year for the last 20 years. There's no electricity, there's no streaming water. This is the forgotten part of Indonesia. Here on the beach in Banda Aceh, young couples like to hang out. But if they're not married, the Sharia police will catch them.
Okay. Where you guys come from?
Dari TV Al Jazeera.
These people have a very clear message for their president. George Bush is not welcome in Indonesia, they say.
Stepfasen, Al Jazeera.
See the world from every angle and every side. Al Jazeera.
This is Al Jazeera.
Welcome to Al Jazeera's News Hour, live from Doha and Washington, D.C. These are the main stories. Battles for Libya are moving ever closer to Gaddafi's stronghold in the capital. Reporting from the front line, we talk to the opposition forces trying to take down the Gaddafi regime. Gaddafi in Green Square, the Libyan leader makes an appearance in the capital.
I'm Shihab Ratansi in Washington with news from the Americas. The UN Secretary General gets the go-ahead from the Libyan regime to send a team that will assess humanitarian concerns in Tripoli.
The battle for Libya, no longer a simple uprising, but now what appears to be a protracted battle. Some even going so far as to call it the beginning of a civil war. Let's show you the front lines and give you an idea of what's going on. Starting in the east, we've got reports of clashes between pro- and anti-Gaddafi forces in Tobruk over there. Now, further west in Benghazi, which is, as you remember, the seat of the uprising, the rebels say they are in complete control over there. There's also fighting in the oil-producing town of Ras Lanuf, south of Benghazi.